Welcome again to Hypnosis Today, where we explore how people are using hypnosis to achieve remarkable things. If you've just joined us, we have as our guest Scott Wilcoxon, who is sharing his experience about how he is having two sources of income, one as a hypnotherapist and one in another field. Please help me welcome Scott Wilcoxon. Now, Scott, you are, let me see if I get this right, a credit specialist. A credit specialist?
Close enough.
What is it?
Okay. Well, it's credit card settlement specialist, yes.
Okay, great.
Absolutely.
And
that's what I do during the day.
Okay. But you also have a practice as a hypnotherapist.
Absolutely, yes.
Give me the percentages of your total income. What are you making as a credit specialist and what are you making as a hypnotherapist?
Sure. Right now, just starting out as a hypnotherapist, it's only about 15% of my income.
And the rest is your day job?
Absolutely, yeah. It's all commissions. Both jobs, in a sense, are commissioned, both on 1099. So there's a lot of freedom to balance each one against the other, and that I enjoy.
Exactly. So what are the hours? How do you split up your hours with these two careers?
Theoretically, the day job is 9 to 6, but I sneak out a little early to come here for classes and to see clients, absolutely.
Wow. Do you see most of your clients on the weekend and the
Strictly
evenings?
on the evenings. Weekends I tend to reserve for myself. I'm one of those people that if I can't relax and unwind, I'll go nuts.
Oh, sure.
So I'll work very hard 5, even 6 days, but I do take some time off.
I like it. And you told me that you are not planning on keeping these two careers. Your ultimate vision is to transition from being a credit specialist to being, and a hypnotherapist, to being a full-time hypnotherapist.
That's right, 100% full-time.
Tell me about your vision.
I want to develop my own modality. It's kind of happening anyway. I see common threads through the modalities that I've learned here, and there's some new technology on the horizon that I'm aware of that I have rights to. I'd like to integrate the two, and I think I can franchise myself out at some point.
Oh, I'd like it. You will be, yes, that would be terrific.
So I can actually retire at some point.
And you'll have, what is that called, passive income?
Yes.
Through the people who you teach your methods.
Exactly.
Well, franchising is big.
Yeah.
Now, you talked about some specific modalities. What are the common threads you see through specific modalities?
Basically, when you're putting a client on overload, there's that magical little moment when you can jump in and put in your suggestions. Now, why can't that moment be induced in different ways more easily? And why can't it be induced electronically? Why can't it be induced by people that are trained just to do that? And simplify, streamline what I've learned here, okay? And use that to help more people rather than just the few that I can see face to face.
Oh, I like it. I think it's really, really interesting. Not so long ago, okay, 15 years ago, I was in a very similar position, Scott. I was a pharmaceutical rep and also wanted to transition into being a hypnotherapist full-time. Where I got caught up, and I bet a lot of people who are watching can get caught up who are transitioning, is when I was doing my pharmaceutical job, I was ruminating about how I was going to jumpstart my hypnotherapy career. However, when I was doing my hypnotherapy clients, sometimes I would worry about my day job. How do you stay focused in both avenues?
I was fortunate. My upbringing was rather strict. Studies came first. So as far as staying focused, that's second nature to me. I was multitasking before I heard the word. To me, each job, if you want to call that, is kind of a vacation from the other. If you tackle a problem and mull it over in your head too much, nothing happens. You don't get answers. If you can walk away from it, leave it alone, take a little vacation, very often the answers will come. So each becomes a vacation to the other.
Oh, I like it.
And that way there's always relief, there's no stress. While one is very lucrative and happening, the other can slack off, no worries. And then suddenly it becomes lucrative, this one might slack off, no worries.
Okay. No, I
It
like
works,
it.
yeah. It started when I was still in junior high school and had my first paper route, and I had to balance that against studies. And it's just grown since then. I've had more than 2 careers at a time, but 2 is comfortable.
2 is comfortable, yeah.
2 is comfortable.
And yet you can never be on a journey unless you're there. So how are you using what you've learned in hypnotherapy to help you as a credit specialist?
In both cases, clients are infused with erroneous information.
Okay, I like it.
So on the one hand, excuse me, you have to educate and then sell them, so to speak, or get them involved in the process, whether you're hypnotizing them or if you're trying to get them to straighten out their credit in some way.
Okay, what kind of erroneous information is out there about credit?
Most people seem to think that if they continue making payments under today's system that they'll be just fine, and that's not the case. The banks have lowered credit limits, which means that you now have less of a cushion in your account. Because of that, your credit is tanking even as you sit there making payments.
Okay, so
Not to mention the fact that your interest rates probably went up.
that's true. So how are you using what you learned in hypnotherapy to help that conversion, so to speak?
All right. First of all, I try and calm them down and soothe them down, and to put it in the vernacular, get them to shut up long enough to listen, because I know what they're going to say. I've heard the fears. I've heard the fears. Once you calm them down and get them to relax, and the voice helps, the soothing helps, and get them to listen to what the reality is and what can and cannot be done, and then let them be aware of the fact that the company I'm with is totally legit, extremely clean, attorney-based, they'll calm down and listen. Okay? And you have to, just like in hypnosis, let them see what this can do for them, because all buying is emotional. We might trick ourselves in some way and say, well, I thought of this and I reasoned this out. No, buying is emotional. You might go back at a later date and put some reasoning behind it to make yourself feel more comfortable. So I have to get them to visualize how much nicer their life could be without credit card debt, without those bills, and money in their pockets again, even as the process is taking place.
Yeah, sounds like hypnosis.
Exactly. Get them to visualize what can happen when they're all done with this, how much better they'll be, how much happier, more comfortable, and successful.
Now going to the other career, what erroneous misconceptions are out there about hypnosis?
Oh, let's all bark like dogs and cluck like chickens.
All right.
All right, that's Hollywood. That's Hollywood, okay? That doesn't exist. Also, the fact that people are afraid they're going to black out or sail away and somehow be open to all kinds of diabolical suggestions. Once you get them to realize that that's not the case and trust you just a little bit, they're fine. And certainly after the first session, they're fine. A lot of times I'll tell my clients, if you want to know what it's like to be hypnotized without being hypnotized, close your eyes. It's just like that. You're aware of what's going on around you. Yes, you might be a little physically more relaxed, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a natural state that all human beings experience. We're just introducing it in a sort of controlled, artificial way to get you started on the right path. I'm the usher in the motion picture theater. I want you to see the picture on the screen. All I'm going to do is use my flashlight to get you to a comfortable seat, and then I'm going to leave you alone. It's your picture.
I love it. So now we have the percentage, 85 for credit specialists, 15% for hypnotherapists. And you thought there'd be no math in this class.
Well, and that was all in 30 days. 30 days
Yes.
ago, it was 100% the day job. I mean, it's happening that quickly.
Really?
Yeah.
So tell me what you're going to do, what your plan is to begin to convert that and go from 85 to 15 with hypnotherapy and then 100%.
100%, yes. I'm finding that if I just put it out there to the universe, to God, whatever you want to call it, what it is I want, things seem to happen on their own. Synchronicity, I call it. I've picked up clients that may not be paying me. It may be pro bono work, but wow, do they know people. And those people are willing to pay, and it just happens. There was a student here who was not qualified to see clients yet, but a doctor approached her on wanting her to take clients. So she's giving them to me, at least until she's qualified.
Wonderful.
That just from heaven. Okay? So I think if your heart and your mind and your spirit is in the right place and you really want to help people, you really want to make difference, I think that things fall into place. There's so much fear out there. People are looking at, 2012, and there's so much doom and gloom. Just getting past the fear and getting people positive and productive again, I think could be our best saving grace.
You know, Scott, there are so many people in this economy who, like you, have two sources of income. What's the best advice you can give to those people?
Be versatile, be creative. Obviously, don't give up your day job until you have to. That's mistakes I've made in the past. And
me too, buddy. What a coincidence. Me too.
It happens. Just be open. Don't put a box around yourself. Be open to what's around you. You'll be surprised where little tidbits of information and ideas and concepts will come from. Don't close your mind to anything. You can always say no later, but say yes for the moment.
Scott, what we were talking about is so interesting, and people are going to want to get more information about you and your practice. How can they get hold of you?
The best would be through the website at hmigrads.com. My full name is Scott Wilcoxon.
Terrific. Well, thank you so much for coming, and I know you're going to have a wonderful career.
Thank you.
I love your franchise idea. You let me know about that.
For sure.
And when you retire, you'll get very, very rich with hypnotherapy. It sounds fabulous. And best of luck with your credit specialist career as well. Well, it appears that we are out of time for today, so we're going to take a short break. But please stay tuned, because when we come back, we're going to talk more about hypnotherapists with a second job and dual incomes in the new economy. Stay tuned, and we'll see you soon.
Clients, absolutely.
Wow. Do you see most of your clients on the weekend and the
Strictly on the
evenings?
evenings. Weekends I tend to reserve for myself. I'm one of those people that if I can't relax and unwind, I'll go nuts.
Oh, sure.
So I'll work very hard 5, even 6 days, but I do take some time off.
I like it. And you told me that you are not planning on keeping these two careers. Your ultimate vision. Hello and welcome again to Hypnosis Today, where we explore how people are using hypnosis to achieve remarkable things. If you've just joined us, we have as our guest Scott Wilcoxon, who is sharing his experience about how he is having two sources of income, one as a hypnotherapist and one in another field. Please help me welcome Scott Wilcoxon. Now, Scott, you are, let me see if I get this right, a credit.
About 15% of my income.
And the rest is your day job?
Absolutely, yeah. It's all commissions. Both jobs, in a sense, are commissioned, both on 1099. So there's a lot of freedom to balance each one against the other, and that I enjoy.
Exactly. So what are the hours? How do you split up your hours with these two careers?
Theoretically, the day job is 9 to 6, but I sneak out a little early to come here for classes and to see.
Specialist, a credit specialist?
Close enough.
What is it?
Okay. Well, it's credit card settlement specialist, yes.
Okay, great.
Absolutely.
And
that's what I do during the day.
But you also have a practice as a hypnotherapist.
Absolutely, yes.
Give me the percentages of your total income. What are you making as a credit specialist, and what are you making as a hypnotherapist?
Sure. Right now, just starting out as a hypnotherapist, it's only